Hello, how are you? I'm back here for another video. This is going to be, I think, a fairly light-hearted one and a kind of get to know me thing, because some of my previous videos have just been like story times, and I don't know whether you care about me as a person, but if you do, then this is what this is for. You're gonna learn about me, and that's kind of it. It's gonna be a 50 facts tag. So I'll try not to make this video too long, whilst also giving you all the juicy deets. So let's get right on into it. Okay, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'll be getting the facts from a list in my phone. So, but I'm only 5'2". I don't know if that was obvious yet from any of my other videos, but I'm a pretty short person. So, I am 21 years old, and apparently I look less than like 15 because I still get ID'd for energy drink. So as a kid, I would say my favourite colour was probably red, and I was like, nowadays I'm more like in tune with nature, and I think I think my favourite colour is probably more of a forest green now. My childhood consisted mostly of like being absorbed in my hobbies, which were dancing and gymnastics, and we would go to competitions like very often. Like there'd be several dance competitions a year, and we'd go to places like Blackpool, Scarborough, places like that. And yeah, we'd compete nationally in dance and compete more like regionally, I guess, for gymnastics, because I was never that good at gymnastics, but I was very committed to it for a lot of years. And yeah, on the topic of hobbies, I tried to do taekwondo for some time, and I think I got like a few belts in. Like, it might have been, if you do taekwondo you'll know better than I do, I can't really remember. I think I did like 1 or 2 gradings and got to like the yellow stripe. But I stopped it because I found shadow sparring, which is where you like mimic fighting with somebody, but you're not even touching anyone, no one's hitting you, you're not hitting anybody else. But I found that too intimidating, so I didn't keep it up. Favorite game as a kid, we had this thing, me and my lad friends. And I was like the only girl in the friend group. We'd play this game that we called All Games, where we could pick literally any character from any fantasy or invent our own characters, like anything you could possibly think of. And we would then be that character and just play out the interactions between ourselves and the other characters, like fights and hierarchy and, you know, all of that shizzle. I had glasses in primary school, and yeah, the first day I wore them I was convinced that they made me smarter. The countries I've been to, I live in England, so obviously England. I've been to Scotland and Wales now, but not Ireland. I've also been Spain, France, Egypt, Crete, which is a Greek island, and Fuerteventura, which is a Caribbean island, I think. I could be wrong. Countries I want to go to are places like Italy, so like Rome, Greece, but more mainland Greece, Germany. I definitely want to visit Auschwitz. I can't remember whether that is in Poland. I think it's in Poland. Australia for sure. Japan, because I have a weeb in me. And I'm sure there's more, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. If you couldn't tell, you probably could see them for a bit there, but cats are my favourite animal. When I was younger, I was obsessed with an online game called MapleStory, and I want you to tell me if you watch this in the comments if you used to play it, because I truly was obsessed and would play it day in, day out. It was just so much fun, and I loved it, and it doesn't exist anymore. But my favourite books were the Lemony Snicket books as a kid. Series of Unfortunate Events books, which had like 13 installments, and I read all of them and loved them. And they taught me fun words. I'm so awkward, sorry. Not a fact, but may as well be. When I was younger, I used to think I had magic hands, and if, say, my sister had an ache or a pain, or she like bumped her knee on the ground or something, I would give her my magic hands, and I would be convinced that they like alleviated the pain. Family thought it was funny, not like sweet, but they humoured me, and that's why I believed it for at least a few years. I've never broken a bone, despite all the like activity I've done in like dance and gymnastics, acrobatics. Never broken a bone. I'm told by my like parents and anyone who knew me as a small child that I was actually quite a loud and bubbly kid and would like go and babble to strangers, and when I was even a little bit older, like maybe 7 or so, I'd take like lead roles in the musical theatre segment of our dance shows with no issue, and I kind of lost my confidence, I guess, when I went up to secondary school at around 11 years old, probably because of mean kids. For some reason, and I don't know how this happened, but all the men in my life, pretty much, so my dad, my brothers, my current boyfriend, and previous boys I've been interested in, they all do some form of like computer programming. They've like, my dad is now a software engineer, both my brothers did computer science degrees. My current boyfriend is on the physics degree, but he is probably going to go into programming as a career. It's just weird, like why? My parents are currently on their second marriages. Their previous relationships kind of ended in very, very shit situations, so they had marriages and got divorced and then found each other and had me and my sister. At A level, I did history, maths, physics and biology, and dropped history at AS. Which, you know, additional fun fact, the first year of college didn't go very well because I had like awful mental health, so I managed to pull up a C grade in maths from the first year of A-levels to an A star in maths in the second year of A-levels, basically resitting the whole of first year and the second year at the same time. So I have a tattoo. I'm not sure. You may have seen it in the vlog thing I posted. I don't know if I've talked about it yet, but basically I'm a massive nerd, and it is based off of Schrodinger's cat. And I do intend to have more tattoos. Most common compliments I get are to do with my eyes and my blonde curly hair. My natural hair colour is blonde, as it like presently is up here. Naturally a kind of strawberry blonde, but I've had it really light blonde, I've had it light brown with ombre, and I've also had bright red hair for almost a year at one point. I love my bright red hair. And now, as you can see, I have green ends. The only concert I've ever been to so far was a Black Veil Brides concert, which is quite an emo band. I was raised a vegetarian and have been obviously vegetarian then since birth, but I became vegan about 2.5 years ago maybe. I went vegan 2017 Easter. I have quite an obsessive personality, if you couldn't tell. An Egyptian man on holiday once, when we went to a water park, at the top of the ride, when I was alone with him, he told me that if I were older, he'd make me his wife. Next fact. I used to have a fear of wolves and would have reoccurring nightmares about them. I didn't have my first kiss until I think I was 19, and TMI probably, but I also didn't lose my V card until I was 20. Lighthearted, one of my favourite desserts is cheesecake. I literally, this is the last thing I ate. I had a lemon cheesecake. Which is kind of like awkward being vegan because you never get vegan cheesecakes that often, but you know, when I do find them, I'm obviously going to eat them. When I was little, I kind of wanted to be an actor or a singer. But then, like, I had different phases of wanting to be an archaeologist at one point because I'm really fascinated by, like, history and bones, particularly bones, which links in with the fact that I also wanted to be a pathologist at one point because they kind of examine dead bodies. And then I did a physics degree, and now I have no idea what I want to do with my life. That's where we're at. Very indecisive person. Linking with the whole pathologist bones thing, I'm also kind of morbid, I guess, in the sense that I love graveyards and just find them really calming, chill places, and I'm just really fascinated by like death and dead people. My favourite exhibits in museums are like the mummified cats and stuff. I don't know. Fact number 31, I believe. I was never a very emotional person. I was called one of the stony-hearted people in my family because both my dad, my mum and my sister will cry at all films and songs that have a hint of sadness in them, or like happy tears. And that would never faze me, and I loved it, but like, more recently, I've been a very tearful person, but just only for selfish reasons. My favourite song for a long time as a kid was Linkin Park, In the End, and I obviously therefore knew all the words to it. I wrote a short story once about a dragon, and I was really proud of it, and yeah, I was going to submit it to a publishers, and my mum took it in because she was a teacher to her class, and they thought it was written by a professional, which is definitely bullshit, but I was proud. As fact number 34, I once had this like text relationship with a boy who was like 2 years older than me when I was like 14, and you know, felt really scandalous for that, but like whenever I'd see him at school, I'd obviously never be brave enough to say a single word to him, even though we'd practically be telling each other that we were falling for each other over text. Who am I? I often kind of feel like I simultaneously want to be a goth, but also a rainbow princess. So I kind of just, I don't know, generally I just have quite a juxtaposed personality. I don't know. My favourite shows are like Game of Thrones and The Returned, which is like a French drama about people that come back from the dead. Even though I've always been quite disparaging of myself, I definitely felt like I was among the smartest of my peers up until like GCSE, and then by the time I got to college it like drastically went downhill, and like now I'm just like, I feel like the dumbest of my peers. I've always considered myself to be the normal one of the family, but like I'm the only one with the sort of crazy issues enough that I've needed like support and help for those things. So I don't know, I just have quite a weird family and I just felt like the normal one. I don't know. I don't know how common this is, but I kind of fell through the net when I was under child services for mental health in my country. Basically, my CAMHS worker at the time cancelled on me like numerous occasions because she had patients who were sicker than me that she needed to go see. And when I eventually got pissed about this and confronted her about it, telling her that if she didn't have time for me, then why did she not just like allow me to get another CAMHS worker who would give me the like support that I needed? And well, she then told me that like the most recent cancellation was because her dad died. So at that point I felt kind of bad, but you know, she still didn't support me enough. This is probably like clear from some of the other facts, but my favourite subject when I was quite a lot younger was definitely English and art, to be honest, because I really like being creative. Subject that I hated though, chemistry. I'm quite a fan of like walking and hikes, and have done the Yorkshire Three Peaks Challenge, which is basically a thing where we walked for 12 hours consistently for like 20 odd miles up 3 mountains consecutively. That was painful. And then I've also done Peak District Challenge, which was like 15 miles in a hilly terrain, and also went up Snowdonia. I don't know if you cared about those last two, but basically I've done a lot of very extensive walks and caused myself a lot of pain with hills. Fact 42 is what we're on now. I hope one day to be able to make a positive impact on the world in some way. I don't know how or what I'm gonna do, but if I could help at least one person, then that would make my heart happy. We actually almost moved to New Zealand when I was like 10-11 years old, and my parents turned down that opportunity because me and my siblings kind of didn't want to go and like uproot and leave all our friends. And the first job that I've had was last summer, part-time, looking after some really cute kids. I miss them, and just doing different activities with them whilst they have their parents away at work and stuff, and they don't have school, so they need entertainment, otherwise they get bored. My family have a very weird inside joke that is going to be very odd to explain, but like within our family it just makes all the sense, and we even found it that funny that we like spread it across our dance school, and Neve off in London at her like uni level dance school has like told all of her friends. And basically we came up with the word Beverell for a teenage rabbit and then wrote a musical about it, and several songs, and we still just sing them sometimes. Yeah. Next one. One of my uni friends actually, I guess, kind of noticed and asked me if I was bisexual before I even thought about it really myself properly. I've kind of grown up until this point feeling very much like there's nowhere I fit in, and I guess because of social anxiety in a way, I've always been on the outside of friendships, but that's something I'm working on, and as time goes on I feel like I connect more and more with people and feel less like just the weird tag-along outsider. Fact 48. I am a massive fan of knowledge. I think knowledge is important. Learning from things that happened in the past and things that are happening across the world is important in order to make sure we like shape the future in as best a situation as possible. And even like on a personal level, like just learning about the world just is fascinating. It's important to understand our environment and ourselves, our bodies, our biology. I just love knowledge. I like learning and I want to learn more, and yeah. Fact 49. quite a lot less deep. I once bought like a pastel blue ukulele with like Christmas money or something, and intended obviously to learn, like self-teach myself the ukulele, but I gave up because I couldn't hack the G chord. And then I still have that ukulele, but I've never learned. I don't know how to play any instruments, but I've always wanted to learn. And the last fact, okay, I don't know, I wasn't sure how to make this like an appropriate last fact, like, oh, end on a good note, you know? So all I'll say is that, as you can probably tell, I really, really love YouTube. I love the platform. I love what I've seen people do with it, people that inspire me to have made this myself and impart any knowledge that I can on other people, help people to learn from experience that I've had. I have like a massive struggle with self-confidence, but I want to keep going with this channel even though it's going to feel difficult to feel like good enough to be here and for it to grow, but there's a reason I'm here and there's things I want to do, and that's why I'm gonna like pursue it. I basically just want to do for other people what people in YouTube before me have done for me, and that is make me feel less alone, give me something to smile about when things aren't feeling very good. Yeah. And I guess on that note, I'll end this video. I love you, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!